Reactor Summit, where we go over a week in the Schmoedown and all the news and all the matches with a great panel of wonderful people. I have a little bit of a voice issue on my continued trek of being sick for weeks. Hopefully, I'll be better eventually, and I'll have my voice back eventually as well. Hopefully it lasts for an hour worth of video time. Joining us for this week to talk about the Schmoedown, we have Malcolm Lay, as always. How's it going, Malcolm?
It's going pretty good. Just can't wait to talk about the Schmoedown.
I also cannot wait. It's always fun talking about the Schmoedown with my good friends, including new to the channel. His name's not Paul. His name is Doug. It's an inside joke. His name definitely isn't Paul. It's Doug. How's it going, Doug?
It's going. I'm excited to always talk about Schmoedown related things with you fine people. It's going to be fun.
Awesome, opossum. I agree. Always a good time. And joining us this week, he made a special request earlier in the week to be on, and I can never say no to the gift king himself, Jeremy Hastings. How's it going, man?
Going pretty good. I figured, since I was on a tribute video and had a question submitted, that maybe that was all I needed to do, and that was probably the best I could do to get on here. So glad to finally be on here. It's probably been almost a year since I've been on. So
yeah, hey, all you need to do is ask, friend. You're a good person. We like you. You just gotta ask. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun talking about this week of Schmoedown because so much happened. Too much happened, honestly. If I'm being a little honest, because you think about this week. If you didn't watch the live stream of the Shire Rules corruption, you got that this week early. The reason for that is important because it was something happened in the actual live stream that yeah, all this stuff happened. Then you had 2 regular matches, and you had 2 matches at a live event on the weekend. So you had 5 matches this week. It's a lot of matches. Hard to keep track of everything that happened in every video with every match. And it's also going to be really hard to talk about it in a short, succinct way. There's 5 matches. So we're only going to talk about the 3 matches that actually aired this week to the public. We'll save our discussion of the live stream for next week, which is going to be awesome. I hear good things. I've not watched it yet. Cross my fingers I won't get spoiled before it goes live. But we're going to start out our discussion with the Shire Rules versus Corruption match. This was arguably one of the biggest matches to happen in years. I mean, this season, I feel like every other week, it's like the biggest match of all time. But this really is a huge match in terms of just quality. It was a fantastic match. The outcome, the fact that the Shire Wolves were going to retire regardless, win or lose, they're still leaving the whole system. That's a huge thing. And the fact that it was a title match, all these things just lead to such an important match. I want to get everyone's thoughts on this match. And we're going to start with Jeremy as the guest. I think he's got some things he wants to talk about with this one for sure.
When the match started, I was sad. When the match ended, I was more sad. The post-match stuff got even sadder than more sad. It was an unbelievable match, and anybody that has not had a chance to see it yet is like, what are you doing? What are you waiting for? It's an excellent match. It's a wonderful culmination of everything that was this entire year and a half span that the Shire Wolves were on. All the great matches that they put on, all the moments that they fulfilled with Clark and Rachel becoming team champions not once but twice. This was kind of the send-off that they deserve to have, and as one of all of us that were a part of that amazing tribute video, which I have to say, which I also mentioned in my own reaction, Neurochronic did a phenomenal job with those promos. It was absolutely unbelievable. Made me choke up more times than I want to admit, but I'm going to be sad to see them leave. I hope one day they come back. Whether they will or not, that remains to be seen. But yeah, we have new champions. Darn you, Mike and Chance. But we'll get into a little something a little later on about what happened, but it'll be interesting to see where our new champions will go from there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I agree with you on all your points. I think the video as a whole, the production value on it was really just impressive all around. You know, you had amazing things by Nerd Chronic in there, multiple videos by him. You had a great panel of people who were actually there in the room, just giving their appreciation. I mean, outside of the match itself, this match was one of the best put together matches in a long time, and it was live streamed. So that's really hard to do in terms of getting all your ducks in a row, as it were. You know, like there's a lot to do in just a regular live streamed match, but then you add on a promo video before the match, a promo video after, or you know, I don't know, recap video after, I don't know what you want to say, eulogy afterwards almost, you know, and then multiple people at a desk. It was so much to do, and the people on the crew just did such a good job getting everything in the right timing and getting everything up on the screen, and just doing their part to make sure that this was just a flawless match from beginning to end, outside of a few like really minor things that happen during live streams they can't really control. Doug, did you have anything you want to say about this Shire Rose corruption match?
Sure. I mean, from what I could see of the match, because you know I had clouded vision the entire match. Rachel and Clark have been two of my favorite competitors of all time. From the time that Rachel came into the league, from the time that Clark came into the league, and I was saying to myself, I would like they would be perfect partners together. You know, if it wasn't for everything that happened. And then when it happened, I predicted that was Rachel's mystery partner as much as anybody else did. I was like, it makes perfect sense. And to be a part of the farewell video was like, it was something. And Mike definitely kind of broke character a lot towards the end of that match. And you can know, everybody that knows him or has talked to him in person knows why. He just thinks of Rachel so high, and it's just it was really nice to see all the people come together to make that farewell video. And yeah, I was a big blubbering baby through it all.
I don't disagree with you. I think the fact that I had a lot of sinus issues going on when I watched the match definitely helped to like keep me from being a complete crazy mess. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I think I would have been a lot worse off if I had just been normal. But yeah, I think beginning to end, it was a very emotional ride. I agree with you about the Mike thing. I think that's important to note that, you know, Mike does play a character on the show. He's an extremely nice guy, but at the end of the match, you could see that he just didn't want the character to come in between this moment for Rachel and Clark, and that it was such an important moment for them and for the game as a whole. And I think he made the right call there by taking the character out of the situation and just being himself and congratulating two people that really deserve the congratulations for an amazing career in the Schmoedown. And also because Rachel is one of his really good friends. I mean, like, you know, at such an important moment for her, I think it was really touching to see the way that they interacted together. And I really appreciated that. And I think it was one of the things that makes me appreciate Mike as a Schmoedown player more and more. We'll see. Maybe next year I'll stop picking him to lose matches. Probably not. It's an ongoing thing. I just have to keep going with it for the rest of my life, I guess. If he's in the Schmoedown for the rest of my life, that'd be impressive. Malcolm, what'd you think about this match?
Yeah, from start to finish, it was a great match. I just wish people weren't cutting onions right next to me while I was watching it, but but I mean, it was a fun match, and like, there's not much I can say that no one else is like everyone else hasn't already said, but yeah, like to actually be a part of that tribute video and to know that it was going to happen without trying to let on to anyone else that there was going to be a video there was slightly hard, but it was like one of those things. But I mean, one of my favorite moments would probably be when they were testing the buzzers, and I think the question was, where is the Schmoedown Live going next? And Clark I either misheard the question or just wasn't paying attention or something. Just had trouble remembering. It's like Mark was like, "Name a city in New York." It's like, yeah.
I also liked when he asked Rachel about the Patriots, and then the very next question he was asking Mike about something, and he was just like, "Don't you do it? Don't you say anything?"
I wanted him to say it too. I wanted him to ask Mike, who's the greatest Intergeekdom player of all time.
Yeah, I thought there was quite a few funny moments, especially I think during that mic check. I think that it was you got to see how relaxed everyone was, because this was a title match, but this was one of the most relaxed matches I've ever watched. Like, everyone was on their game. Like, this was a super high scoring match. I think that everyone played extremely well, especially Chance. Maybe Chance just doesn't know how to relax and take it easy. Maybe he's just I don't know. He's just really good at trivia, I think, is the end of the game. But he got a perfect round, which I think is awesome. Well done, Chance. You know, I love that this kind of back and forth with corruption. Mike has had that's right. Mike has had a perfect match. He had a perfect game, and this time Chance was the one who was, the one who was perfect in the team. I think that this is really good for corruption in terms of their dynamic. I don't want the fact that this was the Showers retirement match to take away from the performance that corruption had, because this was a performance that could go down in the books as one of the best we've seen in the Schmoedown. Yeah. Honestly, it was such a good match. Corruption just owned it, and they definitely deserve to have the belts after this match. Even if this hadn't been a retirement match, I think that this still would go down as one of the better matches of this year. The fact that you're adding the retirement onto that just adds a whole nother level of emotion attached to it that I think probably at the end of the year, this will be the top of a lot of people's lists. Just a thought in my brain. Where else would thoughts be? Man, I'm having a day. Things come out of my mouth and I don't know what they mean. And my dog is whining, and why?
It's the match. He's crying too.
The match is it's still messing with me. It's been like half a week, and I'm still just really messed up about this match. Does anyone else have anything they want to bring up about this match between Showers and Corruption before we move on? There's a lot here, and I don't want to take us away too quickly if anyone really wants to discuss anything.
Can I say something?
Sure, go ahead.
Blame Emma 5 for the tears, because I wasn't crying.
It was Emma. It was Emma's fault. I was so fine, and then Emma started, and I was like, no.
Until she breaks, the tears started coming up.
Oh man!
Nope, I can't blame Emma at all.
I
can. The blubbering match right from the beginning. I was like
He was. He broke up for me. I don't know if he broke up for everyone else.
Yeah, he's gone.
All right, hopefully we'll get Doug back so we know what he was like the whole match. He's back. I don't know, maybe. Okay, so Doug, you broke up for us, but we know that you were just a sobbing mess the whole time. Yeah, I mean, Emma did kind of. I was holding it together so well, and then Emma came in, and I was just like, dang it, I can't do it anymore. Yeah, this was such a good match. I think that there's so much we could say about this match that either has already been said or hasn't been said or whatever. But we do have a lot of other things to talk about, including what's next for Corruption. So this was the reason that, as far as I know, the reason that the match was dropped early was because obviously, Corruption having the belt definitely means that they can break the story of the Orlando ticket. And so this happened during the live stream. I think at this point, people are just going to have to get over that that's a spoiler. That Corruption versus Founding Fathers 3 is going to be at the Orlando event. It's also going to be the singles final match. I kind of thought they were going to shoehorn in a Star Wars #1 competitor match just because they have to have one before Spectacular. there's not a lot of time to have one before Spectacular, and you're kind of in like the backyard of one of the people who should probably be a number one contender and another person who should probably be a number one contender, being Molly Damon and Andrew. Yeah, I just thought it would be a good time for a Star Wars match, but I guess a singles final match and a team's title match are better for a ticket. My mind's kind of blown at this ticket for Orlando. We were considering going to it, and then we decided to go to Arizona instead to hang out with friends. I kind of regret this decision a little bit, except the fact that we get to see all of the corgis that live in Arizona. Man, this thing's going to be crazy. And the fact that this is the third match between Corruption and Founding Fathers is turning into like the new top 10 versus Patriots. They just keep going back and forth. Eventually, maybe Founding Fathers will win. But if this is the Corruption or the top 10 versus Patriots, then it's just going to be another sad loss. I'm going to be really upset if it's a sad loss, because I think that Founding Fathers really wants this, and I just don't know what their future is going to be like if they don't get it. So it's going to be interesting, to say the least. I hope they win, just because I think Dan really, really wants this belt. I know Rocco really, really wants this belt. We'll see. What's everyone's thoughts on this ticket? Are you guys all excited to see these matches? We'll start it out with Malcolm.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this ticket. I just wish I had the money to actually go to myself. But I mean, it's really good, like to get a title match and the singles final, because I did the maths. The singles tournament does finish straight before this, so they're going to start the teams tournaments straight the week after the Orlando live event matches. So it's definitely a good spot for a title match. So it's and I think, if I remember rightly, the third Patriots top 10 match, top 10 came out on top. So I think Founding Fathers will come out on top of here. So.
Yeah, I think you're right. I honestly forgot that they did win eventually. I just kind of was like, the Patriots.
They never won.
Okay,
no,
good.
they didn't win. That was the Jane Fonda match.
Okay, I was gonna say if they won, I'm really not remembering my favorite team very well. Thank you. Oh man, Malcolm, you always give me. I'm like, I thought I knew one thing about.
He was just testing you.
I thought I knew one thing about the Schmoedown, and it was that top 10 never won against the Patriots. Okay, good. I feel better. Yeah, man, you just like blew my mind a little bit. How am I ever going to get over that? Orlando is home to more than 100 lakes. Wonderful. All right. Well, yeah, I agree with you. I think that this thing is just going to be crazy. I think that the fact that these are such high quality matches, if this show doesn't sell out now that this has all been announced, I have no idea what is wrong with people. Like, I understand the Arizona one. It's not a great location for everyone. The ticket isn't mind blowing. Although Wildberries Live, let me just say, I would buy a ticket for Wildberries Live, regardless of where it was at, because they're crazy, and it's going to be an amazing show, no matter what the ticket is outside of that. Like, it's not a team title match, but it is the Wildberries, guys. Come on, get on board. But yeah, I can see this show selling out real fast. Doug, what do you want to say about this match? These matches.
These matches are going to be a lot of fun. I think when you get those two teams on the table finally at a live event, you have a faction who basically broke the internet when they revealed themselves, going up against a faction that has Ken Knapsack on the mic, which is one of the best people to have on the mic ever, next to Jay Washington during the live crowd, because Jay Washington killed it. But no, those guys, it's just going to be such an entertaining show. And to have the finals there too, I mean, it's going to be just intense. It's going to be nothing but a chase after a title night.
Yeah, I think it's going to be crazy. Jeremy, what are your thoughts on this ticket for? I mean, this thing is just going to be crazy. I can't. My brain cannot comprehend two matches of this caliber in one event. What are your thoughts?
I think the card looks really really amazing on paper. When you look at the possibility of what that the singles final could be, I mean, you can just the one side of the bracket looks crazy. I mean, you have the likes of a potential of an Ethan Irwin or a Bibiani or a Chance or a Roca or a Janine or Kalinowski. I mean, just anybody on that side of the bracket can come out on top on there. And then you look at the possibility on the other side, you can possibly have Bateman into the finals, which would be another live event for him. So that match, I'm really looking forward to seeing who's coming out on top in that one. When it comes to the team title match, let's hope that the Founding Fathers win, because if not, then another loss for the Founding Fathers to corruption, just like Top 10 losing to the Patriots. And they all have one thing in common: John Roca's all connected to them. So if that happens, then he's the common link to all of it. So.
Whoa. I don't like your insinuations, Jeremy.
You just gotta say facts. But one thing I will say, and I hope, because this is going to be such a stacked card, stacked event, I hope they do go take all the stops to make this match. Like, I hope they bring everybody of all the factions out there. I hope they get Riley and Bateman and Danielle all out there for the Horsemen. I hope they can get everybody that's in corruption out there too. I really want this to be like a total faction, war as they start to do battle for the team titles. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. I wish I could get my ticket to go down there. Unfortunately, I'm going to be a little busy around that time, so that stinks. But I cannot wait to see those matches. I think they're going to be a total blast.
Yeah, and it would be a lot easier for all the teams to come down, because if one of them won or got into the singles tournament final, like if Kalinowski made it in, or if Bateman made it in.
That's my second question. What happens if Chance, Mike,
there's
or
been
Roca,
people that are
then
part
they
of the
play
live
twice.
event.
They have to play twice? Do you think that will happen?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, because by luck, let's say Mike and Roca wonder, one of them is going to be in the semifinals.
Okay, the fact that you have a pretty high percentage chance of at least one of them making it into the final, I think, yes, probably one of them will be playing, but I don't think it'll be both. I think it'll just be one.
Three of them are in the same side of the bracket.
Right.
One of them have to play twice if they happen to be in the final.
Yeah, I think that there's a percentage of possibility. I think it's going to happen. Malcolm,
then Ethan Irwin will win. We won't have to worry about any of that.
Right. That's what I thought anyway.
And also, I just thought of another interesting fact. Dan's never lost at a live event.
It's true. And the last time he won at a live event, it was so, to go up against Ethan Irwin, the way that he won, perfect, at a live event, crazy. What?
He played in Houston.
Yeah, but I'm talking singles. He didn't play singles.
Oh, but he's playing teams right now.
Well, yeah, but that's...
I mean, Dan still never lost.
Dan himself. Sure, fine, yeah. I personally was thinking about singles. I wasn't thinking about teams. Because I didn't watch the one in Houston live. I watched the one in New York live, so whatever. But yeah, he was just really impressive in the New York live event. That place was crazy for both competitors, so that, the fact that either one of them, if they had won, I think the crowd would have gone crazy. It doesn't really help him or hurt him. So we'll see at this event. I think there's going to be a lot of corruption fans. I think there's going to be a lot of Horseman fans. And I think at the end of the day, people are just going to be really excited to see what happens here. Yeah. Sorry. What? I'm like, does everyone have more comments they'd like to talk about? I just thought you guys all had more you wanted to say. Jeez. Yeah, this thing's gonna be crazy. I can't wait. I honestly, this is the most crazy ticket.
We're completely not biased. We're not biased, guys.
None of us are biased.
We just throw the 5 up because we're giving them a high five, guys. That's all it is.
Yeah,
no, I thought you were just face palming your cameras.
Yeah, we're just raising our hands. We're all very polite. We're waiting our turn to have our next say about the Schmoedown. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the match between Whitney Simon and Brendan Meyer.
You done
Oh my
goof.
god. This is like, yep, I'm in it today. Oh yeah. Whitney Simon versus Brendan Meyer. This I thought should have been such a good match in terms of scoring. It didn't end up being that way, and I don't know that it's entirely Whitney's fault in terms of the fact that he got opponent's choice and Brendan gave him his specialty. And when I say his specialty, this kid has some part of his brain that's just tapped into like the Academy's website because he knows Oscar winners like crazy. I'm losing my voice. These questions were not like the standard, like, in what year did this picture win this? I thought they were more difficult than normal because they didn't just ask about best pictures. They asked about original screenplays and all this stuff. Like, it was pretty broad. The years and the questions asked, I thought, you have to know everything about the Oscars to be good at this category now. And Brendan Meyer is just really impressive. I want to hear everyone's thoughts about this, and then I have a follow-up question to get everyone's opinion on as well. So let's start with Doug. What do you think about Brendan Meyer versus Whitney Seibold?
The kid is officially, now that Rachel and Clark are no longer in the league, is officially my favorite player. What he's done this year is completely ridiculous. He lasted so long in the free-for-all. Him and Bibbs together are my new favorite bromance of all time. It just puts a smile on my face when you see them together and the chemistry they have. But this match was incredible. To see what he could do and what he pulled just out of nowhere was incredible. I think Whitney thought he could have him, but the kid proved again that he's a force to be not messed with.
Yeah, I think this is just another time where it proves that this might be the best year for rookies that we've ever seen. Brendan Meyer, being as good as he is, he's just one more rookie that is just super impressive. I mean, you've got Smets, you've got Brendan Meyer, you've got Paul. Paul. You got so many people this season alone who have just been so impressive. Brendan could make it to the final. I kind of didn't really expect that to happen with the tournament being as stacked as it is. But after this performance, I might consider it as a possibility for sure. He's just very good at the categories he's very good at, and I haven't really seen him be super bad at anything either. So we'll see, I guess, next match. But Jeremy, what do you think about Brendan Meyer versus Whitney Seibold?
I thought the match was good for what it was, and as you pointed out, I'm sure a lot of people are kind of giving Whitney a pass because they're saying, oh, he got a bad break, bad luck about opponent's choice. I don't necessarily agree with that because, yeah, he might have gotten dealt a bad hand, but he didn't at the same time do himself any favors with the bad hand he was dealt. Like in Texas Hold'em, you can get dealt a bad hand. You can still play the hand right or you can play it wrong. And I felt that Whitney just made some really fundamental errors. Like the very first question, like most recent musical to win Best Picture, whether the questions were harder than usual or not. When it comes to Best Picture winners, if your opponent gives you Oscars, Best Picture winners is probably the most common thing they'll probably know. So it was just a matter of Whitney, I felt, could have played it a little more safe, especially considering the fact the match was tied after round one. So it's not like, he had to hit home runs at every single question because he was really taking a chance of if he wasn't 100% sure, he was risking giving away a lot of points, which ultimately is what ended up happening. So while I get that people were saying that the opponent's choice didn't, do him any favors, he made the situation a lot worse than what it could have been. Like, it was a 7-point deficit going into round three. I felt if he had just gone to multiple choice, it would have exponentially helped him get some of those questions right, while at the same time reducing the damage of Brendan potentially getting those. And that 7-point deficit could have easily been a 3-point deficit, which is way more manageable than what it could have been. So,
well, yeah.
I understand where people are coming from with that, but at the same time, I think Whitney just didn't. I think if he had to redo it again, he would certainly have played that round 2 way different than what he did. It was just one mistake after another, and I think it just ultimately did him in at the end.
Yeah, I'm wondering what was going through his head during that round, because usually when it's someone's strength, you want to give them the least amount of points possible. You know, if you think they're going to be able to steal a 2-pointer, you would go to multiple choice and just make sure you don't give them 2 points. And the fact that he might have actually gotten a few more of them right if he had gone to multiple choice, like maybe hearing Chicago as an option, he would have been like, oh yeah, that's definitely the answer. Because I mean, I kind of, that was definitely the easiest question to me out of all the ones asked. But at the same time, like, musicals don't win Oscars that often anymore. So like, I could see why he might have overlooked Chicago. But yeah, I think his strategy was a little off in that round too. I think that there was a little more he could have done to try and get himself in a better position. But at the end of the day, once you got to round 3, I still think he loses it. It's not going to be a TKO anymore or whatever. It's still going to be a knockout. It's not going to be a knockout, but it's still going to be a loss at the end of the day. Because there's no way that the Brendan Meyer we saw in round 1 and round 2 is going to bomb in his round 3 and get all 3 of them wrong. Who knows? I could actually be wrong. He could have bombed his round 3. We've seen other competitors do it before, but it's highly unlikely. Yeah, Malcolm, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, this was a great match. Like, Brenda's knowledge astounds me. Sometimes I don't expect him to. Like, you don't always count them out by not expecting them to know a lot. Because of their age, but I mean, clearly he's been studying with Bibbs, and I'd like to think that he's been watching our show Gone for the Win on Take 3 to get his Oscar knowledge up. But yeah,
look at the font!
But yeah, I mean, I really loved his entrance, because when Bibbs came out, I thought that when Bibbs came out, I thought they were going to pull out a switch, like, I want my net switched up around, and I'm now facing you, Bibbs, until they did the whole Pokemon entrance, which what was done really great. And I mean, even Whitney's shrinking man entrance was perfect as well. I think that's the movie he was referencing by that.
Yeah, I'm glad someone brought up the entrances, because I thought they were interesting. They were definitely different than we've seen. The Pokemon one I thought was kind of funny. I think it would have been like more fun if they had used Pokemon music instead of Bibbs's entrance music.
Yeah.
But
I did mention that. That was kind of weird. Pokemon and horror doesn't really mix together.
hey, you know what? Maybe it does. You don't know. Have you ever been to what's its name? Lavender Town?
Have you ever been inside a Pokeball? You don't know what kind of horrors go on in there.
No, but I did see Detective Pikachu. That was pretty scary.
I don't agree. It was delightful.
It was delightful is correct. That is the correct answer for that. I enjoyed that movie.
I disagree. Abe, we're going to talk about what we want to talk about now.
Can I talk about it?
Yeah, I know. Oscars are your thing. So I did know that you probably had some things you wanted to say about this match in particular. What did you think about it?
Oh, no, I only want to say that Whitney was close. Before Chicago, no other musical had won Best Pictures in 1968. So he was close. In the 60s, there was like 4 Best Picture winners. Was A Story, Sound of Music, and I'm missing. Oh, and My Fair Lady, which is a great movie. You should watch it. Rex Harrison is great in that one.
Harrison is amazing. Yeah, I agree.
Technically, La La Land run for about 30 seconds before they right.
Which I still think should count. It should count.
Well, it didn't count for anyone else. Maybe the
Damn
human
shame.
centipede is a
Oh
Pokemon.
God!
Wow.
Oh God!
That is a
That
common
does remind me.
highlight.
What Pokemon would Brennan had been?
Like the cutest one. So like probably like a
He would've been
Jigglypuff or
Pikachu.
something.
He would
Oh,
have been Eevee.
should he? Teddy Ursa? Is that a good one?
I think it's
Teddiursa.
Squirrel.
No, I think that's a little. Oh, so Pachirisu.
I would
That's
go
a
with,
that's a
like,
squirrel. I don't know. He would be in the new upcoming Sword and Shield. He would be the Corgi Pokemon that's coming out. I don't remember what it's called. He would be the Corgi Pokemon. I'm calling it right now. That's Brendan Meyer's spirit.
Brandon.
He'd be a furret, and you know it.
I think he's the Corgi
Guys,
Pokemon.
you got it all wrong. He's Eevee. He's 100% Eevee. Because he can evolve pretty much into anything.
Abe, look up the Corgi Pokemon and please don't and please tell me that he doesn't look like this. He kind of looks a little bit like this Corgi Pokemon to me. He's kind of just like happy all the time and just like, hello, I'm here. That's totally him. That's his spirit animal.
Why does that look like a mix between, and not just to say Pikachu between there, but Pikachu and a Corgi together?
Hey, you know what? It's the perfect Pokemon. Nothing else needs to happen in Pokemon. We have a Corgi. We're done.
As Sheriff Buford T. Justice once said, "What the hell is the world coming to?"
All right, we're going to move on from Pokemon talk. Maybe we'll have a special Pokemon summit at some point. We'll invite on Cody. I don't know.
Or we just got our new rank 'em. Work on it, Malcolm.
There you go. Pokemon. I'm in for it. I love Pokemon. All right. So we're going to move on. Oh, I do have one question for everyone. Is Whitney the best player? All right. Is Whitney the best player in singles to not actually win any matches in singles? Because he is way better than a 0-2 record. And maybe his tactics aren't quite there yet for singles, but like he's pretty dang good to have never won a singles match. Am I off base? Is there anyone else anyone can think of here who's just never won anything in singles that's better than Whitney's? Because to me, Whitney's definitely up there.
Cody Hall.
Nick Carpino.
He pitched a perfect first round. Remember.
That's true. He was playing against Lon Harris though, so I don't know. Nick Carpino, I don't know.
I just don't think he knows the game well enough. I think Bibbs knew the game better than he did, and Bibbs played the game better than he did. We're just looking up. Yeah.
I guess this is what's happening now.
Wolf.
We did have an interview with Lon Harris on Take 3, just in case anyone wants to go back and watch. It was a fantastic interview.
I remember the fuck.
Okay.
Mark Bernard is probably another one you can put on that list too.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's good. I think your point about Whitney not knowing the strategy of the Schmoedown is fair. It's going to be fascinating to kind of watch Whitney and Mark Hoik go into teams again, because Mark definitely isn't familiar with the Schmoedown as much. He's just not played in it very often. He's been away for a long time, so it'll be different for sure to see him come back. But, you know, having seen Whitney's singles match where it appears like he has some issues with Schmoedown tactics, will they be able to figure that out as a team? Because I do agree with you. I think Bibiani kind of held a little bit of that tactical advantage in terms of Schmoedown play because he was so involved. He was like at every filming. He watched everything. He was around studying, being with people. He
helped create the rule book.
Yeah, I mean, like he has a huge advantage in terms of rules and tactics. So I'm wondering if that'll come into play at all during Whitney's new teams or team match. But yeah, I think that's kind of what's holding Whitney back from being one of the better singles players, because he's got the knowledge. He knows good things about movies. He maybe not about Die Hard, but he knows things about movies. All right, so let's move on. Mark Riley versus Stacey Howard. This was probably the upset of the tournament. Maybe it's a little too early to talk about upset of the tournament, but I think for a lot of people, this might be the upset of the tournament. You have a previous belt holder losing in round 1 to Stacey Howard. Does this sound familiar to you? Because it should, because it's exactly what happened 2 years ago against another Mark Ellis, in round 1 of the tournament. That was my big shock of that tournament for sure, was her beating Mark Ellis. So when this match came around, I was on Howard's side because I thought if anyone can pull an upset against Riley, it's going to be Stacey Howard. She has surprised us before against other Marks, other former champion Marks, and she could do it again. And by God, she did. This woman, like, she just knows very random things. You don't think she's going to get an answer right. You think it's out of her wheelhouse, and she knows it. It's not even, well, one of them was a guess, but there are other ones where she just pulls knowledge out of I don't know where, because I didn't think some of these things were in her wheelhouse. She still got them right. She had that miraculous guess as well, which was just fantastic. This match might not be everyone's personal favorite match. I was really impressed by both competitors. I think they both played great matches, and I think Stacey in particular will continue to be this kind of round 1 competitor to really look out for. I hope she moves forward in the tournament after round 2, because I just really like the idea of her busting everyone's brackets wide open. So let's talk about this match a little bit. Malcolm, why don't you start us out? What you think about the match between Mark Riley and Stacey Howard?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good match. Like, Stacey needs to change her nickname to Bracket Buster, because after this match in the comments, I saw lots and lots of people going that the bracket has been busted. So I don't know how many people actually left with the chance to win the big prize at the end, but I think a lot of people are sleeping. I just want to see Stacey now play a gauntlet match against all the remaining marks, just to say that she's beaten every mark.
Yeah, from now on, if she's going to be in a tournament, I think her first round needs to be against a Mark. So next year it'll be Mark Edward Hoyk. The year after, they'll have to recruit a new Mark, I guess. Am I missing any Marks?
Mark and Draco.
Oh, and Draco, I guess she could go.
Bernardin.
Oh, and Bernardin. See, I forgot about Draco because he's not a K, he's a C, so it's like a little, it's a little different. Yeah, they'll have to get some new Marks. What are you doing there, Abe? You don't need to show the interview. We're past talking about Lon Harris.
I'm going to steal a gift from JTH.
There's your bracket bust. Yeah, the infamous JTH bracket buster gif. Jeremy, why don't you tell us your thoughts on this match? Because everyone here at Date was in our reaction. So, I mean, I watched yours, so I know your thoughts on it already, but not everyone does. So why don't you share?
I was disappointed because my bracket's not ruined yet, so I can't do my GIF yet. so disappointed. But as you all alluded to, the match was a lot of fun. It was really good back and forth. My Patreon question was asked, which I was disappointed that was the one that they picked because, ironically enough, I had one where Tony Danza was the right answer, and I was like, I guess they can't use a who's the boss question for a Mark Riley match. That would be a little too controversial. But I'll take what we got because we got a great moment. Everybody was laughing and lots of wine was drank and a lot of guesses were made and a lot of questions were gotten right. And that was really helped this match a whole lot. It was back and forth. And yeah, I can certainly understand why a lot of people were on Riley's side on this, but at the same time, it was like corruption's been getting the one up on the Horsemen in everything. It was like it almost seemed like it was meant to be that it was going to happen, and that was kind of one of the reasons why I thought Stacey was going to win, because it was just they've been winning everything. So you just had a stinking feeling that it was going to happen again, and sure enough, it did. So now Stacey's going to be playing the kid, as she referred to, who is she? Never heard of her. So that I thought that was a very underrated jab that Stacy got in there. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that match, and hopefully Stacy will not be surprised when Brendan Meyer walks out and it's not a girl.
There you go. Yeah, I thought that your question was really funny, and the insight about you having a different question that would have been funnier was kind of cool to know. But I always like seeing your questions. I think you have really you pick good questions. I think some Patreon questions are sometimes a little like, I don't know, too like they try and make it a little too difficult. I think that you just get like good questions. That's nothing against any other Patreon people. I think that some of them are just trying to like trip people up sometimes, and I'm not for that. I think that people should just ask questions that are answerable, but that's not. I guess I'm not a Patreon at that level, so I don't count. All right, let's get Doug's take. I almost moved on.
It's okay.
Sorry, Doug.
I'm very forgettable, like the kid is for Stacey Howard.
No, why don't you let us know your thoughts? Take as long as you want. Just relax. Take as long as you want. Tell us about Stacey Howard versus Mark Riley. I don't
listen. I have to wake up from my nap because I was sleeping on Stacey for this match. I'm not gonna lie.
Sounds uncomfortable, actually.
It was. Maybe for her it was. I don't know.
Oh, I just got it.
We make jokes here at Take 3 that are kind of funny. You should watch us all the time.
I was like the kid in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It takes you an hour before you finally get the joke.
No,
Jeremy's like, after the show, he's like just sitting in his chair, and then all of a sudden he's just like, "Oh my god,
I just got it!"
Messaging Kristen like, "I got it! I got it!"
There you go. All right, you're good.
Now that we've explained the humor out of the joke, I really thought the match was really great. It's gonna be now a thing where people are gonna fear to face her in the first round of the brackets if she's in them, because she's definitely one of the round one people that you should fear. I mean, her knowledge is great. I mean, she could do ridiculous things. She's got the talent to back it up. She has the knowledge to back it up, and she has some transmitter in her ear that Grace feeds her answers. Just that's what my prediction is. No, but she did a great job regardless. I love Mark, but I think he was sleeping on Stacey. During the match.
I don't think Stacey has enough room for multiple people to actually be like sleeping on top of her.
I don't know. She had the whole league doing it, so I mean, she must have been. She's like super strength. This joke has now become just a joke that's gonna live on forever.
It's true.
But no, I think she's gonna. I think, with her jabs at the kid, I think she's gonna sleep on him a little bit too much, and then it's just gonna be a thing that's gonna be interesting.
You just really want people to sleep on top of other people. I mean, everyone's got a thing. We're not going to judge. It's fine.
I'm just saying, taking a nap when someone shouldn't be illegal. It's just taking a nap.
I'm not judging. Everyone's got a thing.
You just want to rest your head on somebody's shoulder. You want to feel comfortable, guys.
That's fine.
It's just being comfortable.
It's way too much. It's getting weird. Even for me.
I'm a weird guy. Sorry, guys.
It's true.
Does it always get this weird? Or is it only when I'm on?
It's only when
we're saving it for you. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Everything was normal until you came.
It depends on what you mean by weird, because I'm the host, so it gets pretty weird. I thought this everyone said just pretty much everything I would want to say about this match. I thought it was really entertaining. Loved both people in the match. I think Stacey is going to be like next time she's in a singles tournament. Whatever. What do you have to say, Abe? Next time she's in a singles tournament, people are going to be like, I don't want to face her. She knocks everyone out in the first round. Okay. Abe, what do you want to say?
I had Mark Riley winning the match. But I changed my tune when I listened to Stacey's quote, which I thought won the match. Like she had that match won before even the match started, and she says something like, "You know what else was great in 2014? Oh, you know what else was great? Mark Riley in 2014. That was a
It was
great
pretty
quote.
funny.
That was a good hit." And also, I have to comment. Everybody's talking about Roxy and Kaiser's as manager of the year. I don't know why people don't talk about Grace and Ken. It's like they have two belts in the, and I don't know what's happening in New York. Whatever happens, it's just
I
crazy.
guess Kaiser's just
Kaiser's
more
a people
Kaiser.
person.
I don't know.
Kaiser's a people person.
Now, if Mike retains the belts, I think that you get Ken and Grace in the picture a little bit more, for sure. But I think the level of interaction that Roxy and Kaiser have with the fan base outside of the matches is a huge reason why they're being pushed for manager of the year more, because they actually interact with the fans on a very regular basis as their personas. And Ken and Grace, they're there for the matches and they don't do much else of that online.
I will say this though, the other thing is probably, if you remember in the Shire Wolves corruption post match, when they talked about a potential rematch, Grace was asked what is she going to do to prepare her team, and she literally said, "I'm not going to do anything, like I always do. They're going to do the job themselves." Like,
yeah, but
that's a great manager.
Let's be honest. Do you think Tom Bernino did something with the pictures? He probably told them, "Don't spin that. Keep it like that."
I saw that guy during matches, and I can tell you right now, he was the most active person I have ever seen. That he paces, he helps with strategy. He's very active during matches.
Yeah,
so.
but still, it's like, why don't you talk about? It's your teammates are winning. You're the manager.
It's fine. I'm just saying, I think that the reason that more people are talking about these, other people for manager of the year is because of their interactivity with the community as a whole, because being a manager isn't just about getting the wins. It's about having, the team as a whole and, being the fan favorite, because that's what all this is. It's a popularity contest.
Well,
I would never win anything because I never won any of those.
We
also,
never won
one
an
more
award,
thing.
and I don't think we're winning this year.
It's like one more thing, Kristen.
Yeah.
Don't fall asleep while you're on top of me.
And that, people, is what we call a callback.
Well, we did it. If there was a way to make everything weirder, we have found the way. We're going to talk about a couple more quick things before we get out of this stream, before things get weirder. There was a cutscene this week of note with Mara talking to a stranger that we didn't see until it was Dan. I kind of thought maybe she was just talking to herself. I thought that might have been funny. The fact that she was talking to Dan made sense. It's a little weird because they're not in a faction together, or maybe they are. We don't know. They're not in a faction together, so normally you see faction mates talking, but I guess since they are in a relationship, I guess that doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, at this point, this cutscene doesn't mean a whole lot since we don't have any news about whether or not Mara's actually getting a match anytime soon. If she gets a match and that all comes to play, then this cutscene takes a little bit more. It becomes more serious. But we just wanted to make sure we mentioned it because we always mention the cutscenes, and this was definitely there. I thought it was funny. I liked it personally. I just wish that it was leading somewhere that we knew about. And then this week's matches are actually the live stream matches from New York. So we, some of us have seen it, some of us haven't. If you have seen it, just say before the match started, I thought this person would win, and then whether or not you liked the match. But we're not going to give any specifics. We're not going to spoil anything. I haven't seen it, so you don't have anything to worry about from me. But no, we're not going to do any spoilers. We're just going to say who we think is going to win the match or who we thought was going to win the match, and that's about it. So Vouch versus Irwin, I think that this has a potential to be a Stacey Howard type upset, except that I think Ethan Irwin is still going to win. He's just really good. Not that Haley's not very good. I just don't think that Haley is as invested yet as she could be. You know, I want her to be more invested. I want her to kind of break out as the new, or one of the new, like, key female players of the Schmoedown now that Clark and Rachel have stepped away. I think that she just needs a little bit of a push to get there. So we'll see. And then Drama Lama Oyama, I think, versus Snyder, I would say Paul retains the belts, except that I'm going to go with the off card on this one and say Snyder wins because Oyama's never faced anyone like Snyder who has the ability to kind of get in your head the way Snyder does. The way he plays the game is on a different level to everyone else in terms of the mental game. He changes the way he plays based on the opponent he plays, you know, the way he distracts them and everything is you know, it's all very sneaky. Like he's very sneaky the way he plays. So it's not always about, you know, what you know. Sometimes it's about the way you get in your opponent's head. And I think the fact that Paul has never played anyone like Snyder, because there's only one, Jeff Snyder, might, you know, have something to do with the breakdown of this one. So let's get everyone else's opinions on these two matches. So Jeremy, I know you haven't watched it yet as well. So what do you think is going to happen with these matches? Who do you think is going to win?
Well, it's kind of funny because I was on the verge of getting ready to see them on Saturday night, and then I was invited to my own surprise birthday party, which I was saying, nah, I really don't want to do anything tonight. And you know, everyone's like, you really should go, which was kind of the tip off. I probably should go to this gathering. So I was 5 minutes away from seeing the first match, and unfortunately ended up having to miss everything because you can't really just jump in when you're going to be doing reactions to it. So
that's true.
We were not invited to the party. Yeah.
Sorry,
Abe. I wasn't invited to it either. It was, you know, that's not invited to my own party.
That's sad.
Yeah, it's sad. So back to the matches. Now that I've embarrassed myself, Ethan versus Haley. I'm curious to see how Haley will do. She played really well against Eric Zipper. But at the same time, I get that live crowd is just a completely different animal, especially if you're not used to playing in that atmosphere. She did play in the free for all, and she looked like she was fairly comfortable, but she did definitely look like she had some nerves. I would know. I was there, so she did kind of look like she was on edge a little bit. Ethan Irwin obviously has been not only to live events, but in New York in general, and played pretty darn well in that match he was in, despite coming out on the losing end. So I do have Ethan winning. I'm not going to say by TKO. I don't think that's really fair, but I do think that Ethan will come out on top there. As far as the title match goes, you alluded to the fact that Paul hasn't played someone like Snyder because Snyder can get into people's heads. But one thing I've been noticing more and more lately, Snyder tends to get into his own head more than he gets into his opponent's head lately. And that's the one thing that's always kind of bugged me about Snyder, is that once he feels like he's not playing very well, he just seems like he just goes completely off the rails. So I hope for his sake that he can stay level-headed and just stay focused on the prize at hand, because if he doesn't, it could get really ugly, especially considering that this is his first time in a singles title match. Obviously, he's had a gajillion, shit-tillion teams title matches. So it's a little different atmosphere when you're doing it by yourself. So I'll be curious to see how he'll adapt to that. But at the end of the day, I just think like it's going to come down to one or two questions. And when it comes down to it, I think Paul just has a little bit more base knowledge over Jeff, and that's no disrespect against Jeff. Obviously, he's very knowledgeable, way more knowledgeable than me, which is saying nothing. So I gotta give it to Paul reluctantly, although I really want to see Jeff win, because it's just I've been such a fan of his. He's been a fan of mine. He's actually watched some of my stuff, which I think is kind of humbling. So I'm rooting for you, Jeff. I hope you can pull it out. But I think you'll definitely have your work cut out for you. I will say that.
Yeah, Jeff only watches our stuff when I say bad things about him, so he'll never watch this. Sorry, Jeremy. Malcolm, what do you have? I know you already watched the matches, so just say who you picked before you got to see everything, and make sure you don't give away any match details.
But yeah, going into this match, I had Ethan winning. He's just been on a tear, so that's kind of an obvious pick. At the title match, I had Snyder taking the belt from Paul. Was I mean, you mentioned about Snyder getting into people's heads. Live event Snyder is a different thing, and he gets more distracting at times as well. So that could get into Paul's head more. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that. I think that Snyder's just a weird guy, and he can get in people's heads, and that's what I'm banking on here. And last but not least, Doug, I know you also watched it, so again, no spoilers, just who you picked before you got to see the match.
I'm gonna do it easy and say go watch the bracket breakdowns for the
There you
for the
go.
first match. And I think I said it on here during the previous summit that I had Paul winning. So boom, no spoilers, no nothing. You guys are the best.
Awesome. Abe, did you want to give your picks or?
Well, I said it. I think Haley will defeat Ethan. I was hoping for that to be the opposite of the tournament, and I hope that still happens because I have not watched the match because I hadn't been a patron like for 3 months. Why? I don't know. And what else? What's the other match? And I think Snyder is winning because I said it in the last summit where Kristen was not on. I don't know why.
Because I was sick.
Oh, she was sick, and she's still sick. Are you okay?
Sick
Have you been
forever. I sound like I did before you edited the audio for that Lon Harris interview.
Are you taking antibiotics?
No, I just it was a cold, and now it's a thing.
Well, I think it's very obvious it's a bacterial infection.
It's not.
I mean, you've been like a week sick.
No, I got better, and then I got worse.
Yeah, that's why it's a bacterial infection. You have to go with it.
It's not. It's just a cold. I'm sorry.
She's been like that for 3 weeks.
It's been like 3 weeks. Well, I got better, and then John got sick again, and then I got sick again, so it's all John's fault.
That cannot happen if it is a virus. Your body will create the...
No, not for colds.
Oh, I think I get it now. Continue.
Yeah, colds are just weird. You just get colds, and then you get them again, and your body can't protect against it. All right, so that's our show. Thanks, guys, for watching. I was infected by some zombie virus. I mean, if the zombie virus just impacts your vocal cords, then sure.
Wait, did you get a flu shot, Kristen?
Yeah, you kind of have to when you have a baby.
That's the problem. You got a flu shot. That's what it does. It gives you a cold. But you never get the flu because you always got a cold.
I didn't get the flu shot recently. I got it like last year. I gotta get it again.
Like in October?
What?
You have to get it like in October, November, right?
Yeah, I need to get it again soon. We've gone off the rails completely. No, I'm not a zombie, although who knows? Maybe I am.
You don't mind if I use that idea in a movie? Have you
ever eaten like cow brain tacos? They're really good.
No.
Hashtag zombie watch.
No, that's really cool.
That's the conspiracy theory for this week's summit. Is Kristen a zombie? I don't know. Maybe.
We need to get tinfoil hat, guys.
Only the taste of brains will soothe us. Yeah, I'm just gonna go eat some chicken. I think not chicken brains, just regular chicken. And
guys, it's actually chicken brains. Don't let them lie.
Just brains. Maybe
some live chickens. She's got
you're a
chicken in the back.
Maybe I'm a chicken.
Yeah, that's why you're eating chicken brains.
All right, guys. we'll bring this up. If I get healthy again, then we'll know I'm not a zombie. If I continue to be sick, then maybe I am. We don't know. We don't know.
Or if you get better, it's because you ate chicken brains. Just saying.
All right. So
you became a human.
all right, Malcolm, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find us next week on medical with medical advice with Take 3 and hashtag or zombie advice. But you can also find me hosting Rankin every Sunday night. Next week is top 12 NBA teams.
Boo.
You can also and also on Sunday you can also find me talking about the actors back, and I've decided to start doing and which is already getting a lot of hate for the community. Brackets don't cause that at all. I don't know why.
Yep.
But, you can also find me hosting Full Metal Random on Tuesday nights over Full Metal Trivia. Next week is the movie release dates match. You can also find me hosting many things, competing in trivia, and on Twitter, Letterboxd, Stardust at Melkor.
Awesome. Doug, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me here occasionally when I've been given free range to be off my leash and make really stupid jokes. And then you can find me on the brand new show. I can finally say, because it got approved, you can find me starting Saturdays, this Saturday, on Bloody Manor, a part of the Take 3 network. Yay! It got approved. Also, you can find me commissioning 2 different leagues over at the Movie Battlegrounds realm and competing all over trivia, as well as hashtag Chunky Boys Review on TMG Network.
Awesome. Opossum Abe, do you have you want to do your following on Facebook plug?
Sure. You can follow me on Twitter, Abraham F25. You can follow me. Okay, don't follow me on Facebook. You can follow me at Abraham Flores25. You can follow. Please don't add me on Facebook if I don't know you. I don't care about your life, and you shouldn't care about mine either. And please follow the Take 3 account and Take 3 video. Well, give me a second. At Take 3 video. I usually run that account. I post stupid shit, and if you read the description, we're 2-time Schmoedown Award losers, and that will happen this year because we're probably gonna lose because we don't do the reactions and you don't watch the videos.
I cannot wait to update it to say 3-time Schmoedown Award. I hope we lose every year just so we can keep updating our description. That is my favorite thing about our description, honestly.
But once you get to the 5th, it'd be funny if it just changes to the 1-time winner and 5-time loser.
No, I just want us to lose every year.
I mean, what if we don't get nominated? We can't lose if we don't get nominated.
Oh my God, that is something I didn't think of.
Oh man.
Oh no. Oh, we gotta work. We gotta work. We gotta get nominated, but not work enough to win. We just gotta work enough to get nominated.
We're gonna win that award.
Someone else who should probably get nominated for the Schmoedown Award for Reactor Show is this Jeremy Hastings. Where can we find you and all your wonderful Schmoedown reactions?
You can find me eating chicken brains, also known as spam. For all the non-American people, spam is nasty crap. And I was very happy to be a part of the Reactor Summit on Take 3, the 2-time Schmoedown Award losers, as opposed to the 2-time Schmoedown Awards never nominator.
Ridiculous.
It's redonkulous, I'll tell you that. It's redonkulous.
You've been around as long as everyone else has. It's crazy to me that you're not been. Yeah, I don't get it. Where is your channel? Let us know.
You can find me on JTH. That's it. It's JTH for my JTH Reacts on YouTube. And you can follow me on Twitter at WWEJTH. Those letters probably mean nothing now. So, yeah.
Perfect. Make sure when the award season comes out that you really shoot Jeremy some support because he's been around in this community as long as everyone else has, longer than a lot of people have. And I don't think you've ever missed a reaction, honestly.
Who hasn't been here longer as Jeremy and we? So,
yeah.
Name people.
There's really no one who's been around longer than us, except for Late to the Party, and they don't do reactions anymore. So I don't know.
Are you
Jeremy.
Arizona?
So I'm the veteran. I'm the captain of the reacting group now.
I guess so. Maybe that's why you aren't being nominated. They're all scared of you.
Because I'm like Robert Meyer Burnett.
Yeah.
JTH.
All right. Well, you can find me supporting our good friend JTH on Twitter, Instagram, and Stardust. Maybe not on Stardust. I don't know. At Smith
It's
_
too much. Thank you.
The number, not the word. You can also find me right here hosting the show. If you don't know what the show is, man, you must be on some good drugs because you just watched an hour and 10 minutes of us talking about the Schmoedown. Every week, hopefully, this show will go up where we talk about all things Schmoedown. And hopefully we'll start doing some more reactions. StreamYard's doing really good with those. So we're going to try and throw up some more. And that's all we got. So thanks, guys, for watching. Hopefully I won't be sick. Hopefully I won't be a zombie. And we'll see you. Wow, that was trippy. We'll see you guys next week to talk more things Schmoedown. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful night. And take care.
JTH. 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 JTH.